If you haven't got financial freedom, if you're stuck in a job that you don't like, I've been there. If you've got a business you're working long hours in and you're struggling, I've been there. So the big question is this: how are investors like us who weren't born with a silver spoon successfully investing in property to create a passive income and still have a lifestyle now? That is the question. This podcast will give you the answers. I'm George Markowski and welcome to the Positive Property Show. Our mission is to empower 10,000 people to create financial freedom through property using the Markowski method. Join us. Hello.
Hey George, how you doing?
Hey Freedom Fighters, how are you there? Welcome Freedom Fighters. This is George Markowski.
Freedom Fighters, awesome.
Now, we're live on the Australian Property Chat group in Facebook. So if you want to come and interact, please come and join us there. Today, we're going to be talking about the single most important thing to consider when buying an investment. And that's what we're going to be talking about, things like that. Also, we've got a few people that have got a lot of questions to ask, and we're going to be answering questions. We'll be fielding questions. We've got Belinda with us. Belinda is one of our head property coaches. Belinda's coming live to us from Bribie Island in Queensland. How's the weather there, Belinda?
It's really warm, and I left Melbourne when it was freezing, and it's at the moment it's really muggy and really warm. But thank the pool gods, because we have a beautiful magnesium pool out the back, so I can just jump in 3-4 times a day. Love it, but it is very hot on the island for sure.
So, the most important thing when you're buying an investment property. Well, now you've got a list of questions too that you want to talk about, but I'm going to start talking about this because the one thing is, guys, there's a lot of people on here. You might be working a job that you don't like and you just want to get out of it, or you might be running a business working long hours, and then you look at me and go, look at George, he's cruising around, and who does he think he is? He's a big shot, blah blah blah. No, honestly, and look, I just want to say that I have got complete empathy where you are if you're there. You know what I mean? If you haven't got financial freedom, if you're stuck in a job that you don't like, I've been there. If you've got a business you're working long hours in and you're struggling, I've been there. So I really get it. And the thing is,
I've seen you be there.
Yeah, you're really loud. Can you turn your microphone down a tiny bit? Because
sure. No worries.
I don't want you scaring off all our members.
Hey, manners.
No. Anyway, look.
How's that? Is that a bit better?
Tiny bit better. Look, if you've been there, if you've got a job that you hate or you've got a business that you're working long hours, just type in, been there. Just, let's interact a little bit because,
Hey, look, George, I knew you 20 years ago, and there was a stage there you were working more than 7 days a week. I reckon you were almost working 8 days a week.
Exactly. And I was. And the thing is, look, people get inspired by one or two things: inspiration or
desperation.
Exactly. And look, I was inspired by a bit of both, but it was more desperation than inspiration, to be honest with you. So I remember when I was working in Sydney, and, Sydney's not a cheap place to live. It was very expensive. And, I was paying, because I didn't know what the rich were doing, right? I was thinking like a poor person. And the one thing I want to do for you tonight, if I can do anything for you, people watching the show now, is I want to help you turn your thinking from poor to rich. Because when you switch on your rich switch, when you switch on your prosperity mindset, when you start thinking like a person that's wealthy and prosperous, it will change your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to show you how, why, and when. I'm going to show you a few tricks that I've learned over the years that really make a big difference. But, I was paying full tax, working a 9-to-5 job, about 7 days a week. And at the end of the month, I always had more time left at the end of the money, if you know what I'm saying. Because, at the end of the month, you got money left. Well, I had a month left at the end of the money. And I really hated paying bills. And what would happen is they'd pile up in the corner in my kitchen. behind the toaster. Not a safe place. Lucky I didn't burn my house down. So then at the end of the month, I'd open those bills and I'd have the pit of my stomach would be feeling horrible having to pay these bills. And I hated it.
It's not a nice feeling. I don't think anyone would like it.
Yeah, and I thought, hope one day that I can actually enjoy paying bills. And look, I've got there now, right? And the reason I want to share my journey with people is because, for one, you got to understand that wherever you are, I've probably been there, right? I've done the hard yards. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I worked hard to get where I am, right?
Sure
And
did.
now, because I've had a friend of mine message me on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, George, stop showing off and stop pretending your life's so good on Facebook. You mentioned you're getting a housekeeper. What sort of person gets a housekeeper? Who do you think you are? Some sort of millionaire movie star or something like that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Now, the thing is, like, and she's a good friend of mine, but she doesn't get it. And I'm saying, look, I have got a housekeeper. Actually, a housekeeper came in today, and I love it. So we have a housekeeper coming in, and what she does is tidies up, and she's a qualified chef. Great lady. So she actually used to work for an amazing restaurant. I can't mention which one it was, one of the top restaurants in Adelaide. So she comes in and cooked me this amazing meal today as well.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it.
And you know what? Because the one thing is, I call it Save George's Marriage. And that's why I've got this housekeeper, because, I'm not the tidiest person in the world, and I don't like tidying things up. But what you got to do is, and I'm not doing this to show off, I'm doing it for my lifestyle, because time is money, it's freedom. Because the way I see it is, okay, let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. This is a great example with let's say, a qualified chef. For a qualified chef, you're paying $40 to $50 an hour, right?
Correct.
Now, so now someone was to ring me up and say, George, I'm going to pay you $40 an hour to come over. Are you on the Facebook or Belinda? Yep.
Yeah, just checking out Facebook too.
Yeah, okay. We should get someone else checking out the messages, because I need to get your concentration here.
Yeah,
anyway,
no, I'm there.
So I'll say to myself, if someone invited me over and said, look, George, if you want to tidy up my house, cook for us, and clean up for $40 an hour, would I say yes or no to that? No. Correct?
No way.
Exactly. So if I'm saying no to someone else, why am I saying yes to myself?
Yeah, that's right.
So guess what? That's what you got to put on that hat. You got to put on that hat and go, okay, mowing my lawns. If someone asked me to go to their house and mow their lawns for $25, would you do it?
No.
Then why would you do it for yourself? So time is so valuable. And look, when you first start hustling, you got to do everything yourself. So, when I first started out, I did my own servicing, my own laundry, my own cooking. Actually, my mum did my laundry and a lot of my cooking. I was really lucky that way. But also, my own servicing of my car, I did my lawn, I did everything, because I was trying to, because when you're younger, you got more time than money. But then when you got more money than time, then suddenly you can start converting that money into time, because we've only got a limited time in our lives, and that's it.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
So we're still going to go back to that question. And guys, if you got any questions tonight, please type them in. I know, Belinda, you had a few people that wanted to ask some questions.
Yeah, we've had a few emails during the week just from a few people. So I thought this would be a really good platform to answer those questions,
well,
because I think they relate to everyone.
Well, this is the deal, guys. Let me explain how it works. I am very happy to answer any property question on a Wednesday night, right? I'm happy to do that. If you private message me, I'm not going to answer your question, because I'm not providing value for anyone except for one person. And seriously, I'm worth a lot of money, and I'm not going to work, I'm not going to
putting all these emails in and losing a day.
Yeah. You want me to help you? You're either going to pay me $50,000 or come on Wednesday night and give everyone else some value and ask me questions. Is that fair?
Correct.
And that's the way it works. So there you go. So basically, guys, if you want help, Wednesday night's the time to come in. Anytime, any Wednesday night, come on in to the Australian Property Chat. And here I am answering questions and teaching people amazing stuff on how to create freedom through property. Because, our overarching goal, an unstoppable dream, is to empower 10,000 Australians to create wealth through investing in property using the Markowski method. That's exactly what we're doing. And what we're doing is we're helping one investor, one property at a time. And, at the moment, we're getting 4 or 5 new people join our program every week, which is pretty cool. It's exciting. And the reason being is because of the property boom, and, if I could recap from last week, right? So last week I did a show, and what I talked about was Australian house prices grew at the fastest rate last month since 2003. So it's had its fastest growth in 18 years, right? I put an offer, cash unconditional, on a property. I paid $40,000 more last week, and I still lost it. Didn't get it.
Yeah, wow.
So I'm putting offers on properties non-stop, and it's not happening because, one, I need to find properties for our members, but also for myself, because I want to get 10 more properties. Is there a way to invest in property with no money down? Great question. And that's an excellent question. Facebook user. Now, the reason I call you Facebook user is because on this program, Restream Live Studio, it just says that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the other thing. Yeah. So, but we can go to Facebook and we can actually find out who it is. Do you mind looking up their name, Belinda? Can you see them? That'd be great, because I'd like to be more personable with this. And if anyone asks a question, if you type your name afterwards, that'd be really helpful too. So then I can actually call you by your name and be personable. So there's 9 different ways to invest in property with no money down. Nine ways. And I can't go through all the 9 ways at the moment, but I'll give you an example. So I'll give you a few examples of what people have done. What people have done is, I had one client who was in mining. Walid. Hi, Walid. Welcome. And thank you for joining us tonight. So basically, I had one member, and he was, if you've got no money to put down, you need an income to support that, because you've got to have something going for you. You need either equity or money or income. And those 3 things we combine to create a property portfolio. And if you don't have any of those, then that question was Walid.
Yep, excellent. Sure was.
Great. So basically, Walid, there's 9 different ways of buying property with no money down, but you still need an income to be able to support the loan and get the loan, because you need a loan for one. But I'll give you a few examples. I can't go through all 9, otherwise we'll be here all night. But I actually go through all nine of them in our 14-day challenge. So if you go to the challenge, it's the perfect place to find out about that. We've got one starting next month, which is cool, because we're doing our graduation this Monday for our last challenge, and we're having a graduation webinar. So what's happening is, we had one guy, and he was a truck driver, and he was earning good money, but he loved buying toys. So he's buying all these cars, Commodores, hotted up Commodores and stuff like that. And he joined our program and he had nothing, 0 deposit, right? Lovely guy, awesome guy, hard worker, but he wanted property, but he had no money. So this is what I did. Number 1, I got him to sell a few cars, and we got a deposit for one house, and we bought a property, and this property was positive $140, which was great, because we were using his tax dollars and converting his tax dollars into property. And then what happened was, he was living at home, and I said, mate, save everything you've got. And he was saving, like, he was earning good money as a truck driver, really good money. He was saving everything. And then what happened was, before you knew it, he had money in his offset account, and then we got another property a year later. Then he put more money on his offset account. That property he bought originally went up in value. So he took some equity and his offset and bought his third. Now he's got over $1 million worth of property 2 years later, and he started off with 0 deposit. That's one.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Then I had another guy. I had a tradie, this guy, great guy. He came and did the mirrors of my house, and he looked at my house and goes, wow, you've got an amazing house. You live on the beach. What's your secret? And I said, well, property investing. Anyway, he ended up joining our program, funny enough, and he had 0 deposit. But his father had his house fully paid off. So what his father did, his father gave him the equity, and his father doesn't cost him a cent, and this is a really safe investment. His father gave him the equity, and he bought a property. Then his brother jumped in and bought a property too, and now he's bought his second property using the equity. And then what happened was, after his second property, he got extra equity in his property to pay the equity back to his father, and now they're all square.
Absolutely. I was going to say, and have that opportunity to pay the dad back. So that's a great one.
and with properties at the moment, it wouldn't take long to pay them back. But seriously, friends and family, you can do JVs. I've had people get personal loans to get a deposit and then buy a property. There's lots of different ways of doing it.
There's lots of ways.
And really, at the end of the day, the most important part is it doesn't matter how you get the money, whether you get a personal loan, whether you get the JV, whether you got equity, it doesn't matter. The important part is 2 criteria. 1, you're buying a property that's going to go up in value. So it has to be in the top 100. It's going to go up in value. You need to really guarantee that, because otherwise you're risking everything, especially if because I had one guy, what he did, he got a personal loan. Then he used that personal loan as deposit and bought a property. That property's got up 200 grand now, right?
Yes, beautiful.
Personal loans are more expensive. So what we did is, 1, got him a really good property, but 2, we ran it through the cash flow calculator and made sure that he could afford it at that rate. You've got to account for it, that's all. So if you get a personal loan and it's like 7-8% personal loan on 40 grand, we're going to run that numbers and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, don't buy it. The fact of it is, the 2 criteria you must have, these are 2 tick boxes. 1, top 100 suburbs. Number 2, you can afford the cash flow every week.
That's correct.
And if it's not top 100, you can't afford the cash flow, you should not buy it. But if you can, do whatever it takes. I'm talking do whatever it takes. Think about this. I mean, let's say you woke up in the morning and you had all your 4 tires were slashed, right? Would you go, oh, well, what do I do? I'm going to have to walk to work? No, you do whatever it takes and replace it, wouldn't you? You'd beg, borrow, steal, whatever, and just make sure it happens. And the difference between people that do whatever it takes to get their goals, the people that are going, I don't know how far I'll go. You know what I mean? People that just don't get up again. Because sometimes, people get knocked back on finance the first time. They're going, oh, wasn't meant to be.
Hard basket, yeah.
All this BS. It's such a load of bullshit. What do you mean it wasn't meant to be? I get rejected sometimes 6 times in a row before I get yes. Has it stopped me? No. Because seriously, you have to have grit. You have to have grit and be able to do that. You look at Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, right? He had PayPal, sold PayPal, then he bought Tesla, and then he bought the SpaceX. Now, SpaceX, his first 5 rockets failed completely, and he was broke and sleeping on the floor there in the factory, right? Did he give up? No. Now he's the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
He had failure after failure after failure after failure. And what I'm saying is, it's okay to fail, right? As long as you learn from it, because you can't become successful with not failing. I've failed many times.
Yeah.
I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people that goes, oh, I'm a guru. I've never made a mistake in my life. I'm just perfect. No, I've made a lot of mistakes, and that's why I'm here. But, I'm authentic. I'm happy to share my mistakes. I'm happy to tell you the stuff ups I've made. I've made a lot of stuff ups, right? But I've learned from them. I might make a mistake once. I won't do it again.
Yeah. And look, you being that kind of pioneer in the property investment game, you've made a lot of mistakes. So you can see that from a mile away. And that's why, that's what keeps our members safe.
Yeah. Well, I suppose people
from your own experience
can see that I've got the experience because, the runs on the board. I was watching an interesting thing. Now I'm just trying to see where this live is because I can't see it anywhere. Can someone please type in where you're watching our live? Because I can see there's like 14 people on here.
I've got George Markowski is live on the Australian Property Club.
Great.
Chat.
It never comes up for me, but I don't care. It doesn't matter because it doesn't bother
But look,
me.
we've got people watching, and I've got so many questions to go through. I think we really need to bang it out. Are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Okay. This is from someone who's actually considering our program. So I've considered your program, but I'm not sure if the program is right for me and my partner compared to maybe just getting an independent financial advisor and planner to assist us to seek management funds to invest.
Well, look, course for horses, you know what I mean? Like, I'll explain the difference. I mean, look, there's people out there that are financial planners, right? And financial planners, they have to go through a lot of study to become a financial planner and get a lot of degrees and all that sort of stuff and get their certificates. Then they've got to start their business, and then they've got to teach people how to invest, right? Now, many of them haven't done it themselves. They're teaching other people how to do it, and
Yeah,
they're
that's right.
qualified to do it. So this is the deal. If I was to get a financial planner, this would be my criteria. One, are they living the lifestyle that I want to live? So if they're in an office every day, do I want to be in an office every day? Because obviously, if they're in an office every day, they're not really financially free.
No financial independence.
Yeah. So if I want financial independence, I'm going to look for someone that's got financial independence to teach me that.
Yeah.
And then they need to be able to prove it that they've done it themselves, and usually through their lifestyle. And you can see me, I've done it, right? Like everyone knows I've done it. I've done it for years, and I've been traveling around the world, and it's pretty cool, right? And I do my Wednesday night live Wednesday. This is it, and that's it. You won't see me sitting in an office with a suit or a tie, trying to sit there and financial plan your life away. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
2, have they helped other people create financial freedom?
Perfect.
How many members do they have? Are they creating financial freedom? What sort of results are they getting? So, if you can find a financial planner that's got financial freedom and helped other people gain financial freedom, good luck.
And 10 plus properties under their belt.
Well, depends on what you want to do, but if they're creating a passive income, great. But the problem is it's going to be very, very hard to do. Hey, yeah. George, Belinda, hello. It's going to be very hard to do. So what's the difference between them and me? Well, one, I've got the runs on the board.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine you're learning how to parachute, right? Right? And now you've got someone like me who's parachuted, made a few mistakes, but didn't die. I've parachuted many times, and I've got over 4,000 people around Australia who are parachuting, and none of them have hurt themselves, right? And all of them have done very well. And then you're going to go to some guy who's never parachuted, but teaches people how to parachute, and has got a certificate in parachuting, and he's got a few people, and he's going to say, are you going to parachute with him? No way would you do that.
No way.
Right? So getting financial help and learning about your wealth, seriously, this is the most important thing you can do in your life. Like, I am serious. This is like the quality of your holidays, the quality of your house, your car, your family, your health, your future, your retirement. All of that hinges on your financial future and your financial security. So you got to get that right. You got to do your due diligence and get it right and really check it out. And this person that's looking at us, check us out. Google George Markowski, talk to some of our members, go in our group, interact with us live, right?
That's it.
And also talk to those financial planners, interact with them live, join their group and check it out if they've got a group. Find out what they're doing, how much money they're making. I mean, last year I made over $1 million out of property.
Do your due diligence.
Right? Now, I've created a lot of millionaires in my time, right? I have. That's one. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? That's the difference. So have I asked that?
I think you answered that wonderfully. Awesome. I've got another one. So it says it's hard to compare apples to apples with some investments.
Yes, it is.
Okay. The end decision comes down to comfort in the level of risk in the product, processes, and the level of involvement with different investments, i.e. shares versus property.
Look, at the end of the day, if you're interested in property, talk to me. If you're interested in shares, talk to someone else. But because
what do we go? I go down to that. What do we say? I haven't heard safe as Bitcoin. I haven't heard safe as shares, but I've definitely heard safe as houses.
Yes, exactly.
That's what we do.
Exactly. So I've never heard anyone say safe as shares. If you go to the bank and borrow money for a house, you'll get it pretty easily. You try to borrow money for shares, good luck. So look, comparing apples for apples, it all depends on what you want to do. Our program is tried and tested.
Yeah.
And very simple, step-by-step formula. That's very basic, and it's all about safety and long-term growth. And I've made it that way
Beautiful.
on purpose because, I've read this article and it says, look, if you stay up at night worrying about your business or your company, you're going to have a small company.
You shouldn't be, yeah.
But if you stay up at night worrying about your members and your clients, that's when you're going to have a big company, right? And the reason we got 4 or 5 people joining our group every week is because I'm talking about our membership, not our group. We got 30, 40, 50 people joining our group a week because we're good at what we do. Word of mouth gets out and we're good. Google George Markowski, check it out. Google that I'm a financial planner. See if they're on Channel 9 or Channel 7.
Correct.
.com.au. Have they written a book, a best-selling book?
Do they have members? 2,000 members. Hello.
Are they retiring to Bali or they're just working in an office? I don't even need an office, right? That's the thing.
Beautiful.
Now online, it's very easy. And what I've done is I've decided to say goodbye to winters and I'm moving to Bali during winter because I don't like winter. And the good thing is only 1 hour time's different. So it doesn't make a difference to our members or our clients where I'm from. And that's what financial security is all about, for you to have choices, right? If that's what I believe it's about. So if you want choices, find someone that's created choices. If you want to create choices, but the thing is, with property, one thing you got to we understand with our system and property, it's not a get rich quick. It takes time, right? Yeah. Property takes time. If you heard of the rule of 7, that means if you get 10% return, everything doubles in 7 years. Property averages probably about 7 or 8%. So it doubles every 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Bitcoin doubles every year, then halves in 6 months and doubles again. And then you've got other stuff like that. But really, at the end of the day, if you put your money in the bank, it'll take you 83 years for it to double, which is probably a little bit too long.
All right, I'm going to keep going because we've got so many to get through.
Let's do this.
Look, I could probably answer this, but I'll put it up there as total transparency. How does Positive Property Solutions make their money? I suspect there is considerable cost in paying office rent, staff, and coaches, but no one wakes up in the morning to help others without paying themselves first.
Yes, we pay
memberships.
We get paid by memberships, right? And at the end of the day, we're not the cheapest in Australia either, right? So, our memberships range from $2,000 to $50,000 each. And we've got 3 or 4 people a week. So we've got a lot of money coming in. That's the fact of it. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm proud of it because we're good at what we do. We deserve to get paid good money. And
absolutely.
I really believe though, the value for money is amazing. I mean, we had actually our old receptionist that used to work with us, our old secretary, because in those days they were called secretaries. They don't call secretaries anymore. Now they're called EAs. But and her name's Renee, lovely girl. And we've known her for 20 years, would you say, Belinda?
About 20. Yeah, it must be at least 20 years.
Yeah, and she reached out to us and said, hey, I've been seeing you guys been doing well in property and all that. Let's check it out. And we had a bit of a chat to her. And we've known her for a long time. And we know she's a wonderful person. On her first meeting, she saved, I think, nearly $25,000 in half an hour per year.
Yeah, that was
right.
That case study is amazing.
But what I'm saying is, most people
that join got a property yet.
Most people that join our program, they save 10 to 50,000 their first meeting. So
yeah, that's easy. I'll keep going. You've answered that beautifully. How does a property sourced through Positive Property Solutions compare to others in the same suburb? Is it more expensive, the same, cheaper? Is it the build quality comparable, better, or worse?
Okay, good question. Look, the fact of it is, property is one of those things where you really got to know your stuff when it comes to build quality and things like that. And I get relationships with builders and developers that have been in the game for a long time. I've known them for a long time, and I really like to get good quality stuff for our members, right? But also, we're one of the only groups where we actually get an actual valuation, not a valuation, sorry, we get a valuation, but we also get an independent building inspector on our properties to go in twice to look at the property and make sure we get it right anyway, right? So they know we're going to do that. Everyone else avoids that, right? They avoid it like the plague. And a lot of people go, oh, well, it's brand new, you don't need to do that. But you know what? I like to keep everyone on task, and I want to make sure the quality is there. The pricing, look, the thing is, if you're in the top 100 suburbs, you're not getting a bargain, because if people are giving a big discount on a property, it's not the property you want. We want quality. So you're paying the market price, right? We're not bargain discount. Look, if you want to get a discount, I can go to a shit area and get you an amazing discount on lots of properties. You know, they're offering, I get emails all the time. Brisbane CBD, they've got these, in the CBD, they've got these units there that are giving like 10% off, right? Off the bat. But you know why they're 10% off? Because they're probably going to drop 20%.
Correct.
Right? So if you want to be in the top 100 suburbs, that's quality. You got to pay the price. I'm trying to pay more for properties, still not getting them at the moment, because that's how hot the market is. So when you're looking at buying a property, don't get caught up in the bargain discount and trying to get a discount on some shit property or shit area. What you want is you want a high quality property that's going to go up in value. That's the important part. That's the value. You make your money when you buy property, not when you sell property. So you got to buy right. And with our system and our group, we show you how to do all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. You're banging them out. Let's keep going. Once the suburb is...
Let me finish. We have a massive due diligence process.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how many points do we go through in our due diligence?
22-point due diligence. Hello.
But not only that, you've seen the presentation. We have got
up to 25 slides of research, cash flow calculator, economics, government spending, population growth, everything.
No one does the research we do. Like when we do our research in an area, in a property, we have got it down pat. Like it's really amazing. And keep going.
Yep, beautiful. The other one is, once a suburb is identified as a top 100 suburb and there's opportunities in these suburbs only sourced by Positive Property Solutions, or can the client source their own properties in that suburb?
Look,
good luck.
Look, the reason they're the top 100 is because it's hard to get properties there, right? And a lot of people go to real estate porn like Domain and realestate.com, but that's real estate porn. We normally get a property before it goes there completely.
Before it goes to market.
And even before market, it's hard. You know, last week I put an offer on a property. I paid an extra $40,000 for it, and off market, it wasn't even on market, and it already sold that day for more than what I wanted to pay for it. And I was paying cash unconditional. So, you know, it's very hard to find good quality property in top 100, and you know that's what we're here to help you do.
Yeah, beautiful. Love it. Let's keep going. I suspect that only suburbs that have limited land available or have limited infill development opportunities are those identified with significant capital growth upside, together with supporting demographics and infrastructure criteria. Are these the type of suburbs that you primarily concentrate on?
Yes, they are.
Yep.
So look, that's a very big part of it. You know, the lack of land is a very, very big part of it, but it's not all of it. If you read a book called Freakonomics, you know, everyone
it's a great book.
If you read Freakonomics, that will teach you my style of research, because what I do is I find out what people are doing with their wallet, and then you can normally tell what suburb's going to go up because of that. And part of the reason is because of lack of land, but it's not always the reason. There's other reasons why there's more demand and less supply, and more supply and more demand. And I've got 39 different factors that I look at, but that's one of the big factors. So yes.
Okay, are the property managers who manage client properties for us or for are a part of Positive Property Solutions structure, or is their management fee negotiable?
Look, they're not
it
part of us.
It depends on the property.
Yes, depends on the property, because sometimes you get a property and they've got a property manager in the property living there.
Already there.
And when I first start out, I'm going to use them because I don't want them blocking me, and I want to be the first one renting my property out. Also, we've got other property managers that are part of the circle of safety all around Australia, and are negotiable. Some are, some aren't. It's up to them. They're all dependent, so I don't tell them what to do. get the best people, and it's up to you if you want to negotiate with them. But usually, look, we put it in the cash flow calculator, their cost anyway, and as long as it works and everyone's happy, it works. I personally think that paying a fair market price for all your professionals that work for you is a good idea. I never want to get the cheapest property manager because that could lead to a lot of problems. I also don't want the most expensive. I want to be in the middle somewhere when I'm paying for something, or or a little bit, or pay a little bit more, because I really want quality people and professionals help me.
Correct. Love it. That's great. Okay, I think we've got one more. I've actually got a couple more, but just in this last email. What strategies are available to guard against future interest rate increases? Yes, look, unlikely in the next 4 or 5 years, but nevertheless a possibility down the track. Does this compare favorably or negatively compared to the diverse fund with steady returns?
Yeah, look, interesting question. So normally what happens with property is when interest rates go up, that's because of inflation, and therefore property prices are going up. So in fact, the whole economic system is designed to give you more money when interest rates go up, because that's inflation. That's the way it works. So at the moment, we're experiencing something very unusual, which is we've got inflation, but low interest rates. So this is very unusual. It's unusual, and basically, even if the interest rates were higher, it would still work. So it doesn't matter. So I've been through 9%, 10% interest rates before, and with my strategy, it still works, because what happens is that pushes your rent up and pushes your price up for the property anyway. So the thing is, what we want to do is we want to grab as much equity as we can. You want to jump in while the interest rates are cheap and get in there and get as many as you can now, because you're getting money dirt cheap. Get it dirt cheap now and worry about it afterwards.
Yep. And look, so I just want to make sure my investment loan taken on with our equity in our home is the right choice, fits our risk profile, i.e. allows me to sleep at night, which is very important for our members, and have come to the point that I do nothing approach will definitely not achieve the goals, but hopefully that above questions with independent advice can serve us to go the right direction, and the right direction for me, my family, my partner, my children.
Great. So how do you sleep at night? This is a good question. And let me explain how to sleep at night and invest in property, because this is so important, because so many people invest in investments like cryptocurrency or shares, and they have lots of sleep nights, and they're always logging in, having a look, and I made some money, lost some money, made some money, lost some money. Which is, you don't want that, right? So what you want really, seriously, this is the key, because I sleep really well at night. And what I like to do is I like to get a strategy that's so boring that it's like watching paint dry, because your investing shouldn't be exciting. Now, it does get exciting when your property doubles, right?
Goes up in value, correct.
Seriously, I've got 34 properties, and basically I'll spend less than 10 minutes a month on them, if that.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all set up, it's tried and tested, and it just keeps slowly going up. Like last year was exciting because I made $1 million, but I didn't realize until my accountant told me, right? Because the problem is it's so passive, it just sits there and just keeps coming in, right? And I've gone past the point of wanting to count my money. I just count it when I have to count it, right? But the thing is, the way to have less sleepless nights when you're investing is to get educated and get familiar and really know your stuff, and don't do anything until you're ready for it and do it. And that's part of the reason we've got a program where we educate people, because we've got two types of clients. We've got one type of client, and a great example is a good friend of mine, Barry, who runs the Game Changers, and he makes good money. He's very successful, very confident. He rings up and goes, "George, ready for my next property, get it organized. Thanks, see ya." Done. Because when we normally talk as friends and see what's happening. But when he wants a property, he just rings me and says, "Get me a property." Done. We get him a property, he's done. He bought 5 in the last year, right? And that's the person that's time poor. He's confident. He knows that I know my stuff. He's a very smart man. one of the best coaches in Australia when it comes to business. So obviously he's going to get the best coach when it comes to property. You got me, right? And he's my coach in business, and that's why I've got him, because he's excellent. And I only want the best for me as well. I'm not going to go to a coach that's average. I'm going to go the best. So when I ask for business advice, I go, Barry, blah, blah, blah. Just tell me what to do. I'm not going to question it. He knows what he's doing. He's done it all himself. Why would I question it? Right?
And he's got the runs on the board too.
Yeah. So I go, what did Barry do? Barry did this. I go, great. I'm going to do what Barry did. Done.
Yeah.
No question. Because I'm an expert in property. I'm not an expert in business. He's an expert in business, not in property. And another type of client we've got a client that is starting out in property. They've been doing a lot of research. They've had analysis paralysis. They haven't pulled the trigger. They've been wanting to buy a property for years, but they've been shitting themselves, right? And the problem is they keep looking at this massive boom, the biggest boom in history. And they keep looking at it going, oh, no, we're going to miss out. And they get this sinking feeling they're missing out on everything in life. And they are. They really are missing out. They're missing out badly, but their fear is holding them back. And that client, what they do is they join our program and they're not ready yet. They get educated. They do their onboarding and goal setting. And we've got all the education for every step, and they get educated. And once they get educated and they get to that point, then they're comfortable.
Correct.
And it's easy. But until that point, until someone's comfortable, I won't let them go ahead anyway.
Yeah.
Seriously. Until someone's really confident.
I mean, we've got a roadmap that we mentally hold people's hands through that program, you know.
The roadmap is so good because it's one little step at a time to success. And I've had people that have retired off property that were so nervous when they first started, and they slowly went along the roadmap bit by bit and then slowly got there in the end, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And I really think if you're scared, educate yourself, really educate yourself, arm yourself, and don't do anything if you're scared. You know, I suggest when you're buying a property and you're scared of buying it, you shouldn't be buying it. Seriously. Yeah. I did that. Okay, I admit it. But you shouldn't do it, because when I did it, there wasn't education around. I had no choice. So I just had to buy the property and hope for the best. I was lucky. I paid $179,000 and it's worth about $950,000 now, that property, nearly $1 million, which is great. It's gone up.
Beautiful.
So pretty cool.
I've got some more questions.
Okay.
Because then we're going to have to wrap it up. So I understand the property that we get will be cash flow positive as it's new and has a depreciation and tax benefits. But what is the net yield on these properties? Look,
what happens is it depends on the property. And
I was going to say, depends on the property.
But we normally look for 4.5 to 5.5% yield, gross yield. And the reason being is because that is the sweet spot. We're not looking for yield. We're looking for capital growth.
Correct.
I want your property done next 7 or 10 years. That's what I want, right? Because that's where you're going to make your money. Now, there's a lot of people out there, right, that are nervous about property. There's a lot of people out there that have got a job they don't like. They want something else. They know they want to create financial futures. People out there right now listening to us that are confused by all this. So you know why? Because they don't understand the basics, right? Because when you understand the core fundamentals, it's actually very simple. But until you understand them, it's not hard. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to do something tonight for all our people watching, right? So if you're watching this now live, we've got our property strategist, we've got Charmaine. Now, Charmaine's awesome.
She's amazing.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be offering some free calls with Charmaine. I'm going to give a handful of calls out. So if you want a free call with a property strategist, it's a 15-minute call where Charmaine sits down, has a chat to you, and just gives you a little bit of light, a little bit of guidance. If you want that, just type in free call. And what I'll do is I'll direct message you Charmaine's calendar link. You can book in with her and have a chat. There's totally complimentary and free of charge. I'm going to give a handful away. If you're watching the replay, just type in hashtag free call and we'll still send you a DM. But seriously, you've got to get yourself educated. You've got to start the ball rolling because you don't want to miss out on the biggest property boom in Australia's history. You really don't want to do it, you know. And someone said free call.
Yeah, beautiful. Hey, can I keep going with questions? Because
Yes,
I've got a
keep
couple
going.
left and then we're done.
We've
We're
only
done.
got a few minutes left. So, guys, if you want your free call, you better just type in free
Okay.
call.
So do you look at the minimum rental yield? And I think you answered that. We look for capital growth.
I don't look at minimum rental yield. I'll look at cash flow calculator.
Cash flow calculator every time.
The thing is, right, you got all these complicated words like minimum rental yield, but what's more important is how much it's going to cost you per week.
That's it. That's it.
So I want to dumb it down because the problem is we don't want to keep it too complicated.
Yeah, beautiful. So if these properties are new, we won't pay above average suburb price, in which case the capital growth will be slower and the delay the purchase of the next property, question mark.
Look, when you buy a property, buying the top 100 is what gives you the growth, right?
Yeah.
But
Correct.
the structure, the tax savings, that's what gives you the cash flow. So
Correct.
you need both, because you need both sides. If you've got a plane with one wing, what's going to happen to that plane?
Yeah,
It's going
beautiful.
Yeah, so you need both sides. And what they're saying is slightly correct, because what happens is when you buy a brand new property, it's depreciating in value because it's going down in value. But we're losing a lot more money on paper than what we are in real life.
And that property's going through growth as well as rents are going up.
Exactly.
So
And
it evens it out.
it evens out. But really, what we want to do, if you buy a house worth 400,000, we want to get that house to 800 in 10 years. That's what we want. Also, but let me just finish. What we're doing is we're adding your savings into your offset account and the capital growth and adding it all together. And what can happen is once you group all this together, you can slowly build your portfolio. Anyway, keep going.
Great. Is there a criteria that property purchased will be below medium and dollar below current valuation?
No. Look, there's lots of different strategies in buying, right? And that's one strategy, but it's not a good strategy, because buying below median price, if you want to buy below median price, you go to an area that's going down in value. You're going to an area that's going up in value. Good luck buying below median price. That just doesn't make sense. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want a bargain, if you want to save lots of money and you want to get a big discount, you're going to need to go to a suburb that's going down in value, because people there are desperate to sell. If people are in a suburb they're not desperate to sell, you're not going to get a bargain. My property keeps going up because I live on the beachfront, and it's going to keep going up, and no one's going to get a discount on the beachfront.
No, not at all.
No, you actually, if there's a price, you're going to pay more.
Beautiful. Lucky last question, and that is, does the course cover how to research top suburbs and what criteria you look at?
Yes, it does. So what I do is I teach people in the 14-day challenge and in our black belt how to research suburbs. But with my research, that's our IP. I don't share my research with people. I just help people buy in the top 100. Because let's say, for example, we're the only company that knows how to do the top 100 in Australia. So if I gave it to someone and then they gave it to our competitors, then I wouldn't be the only one. And that's my livelihood. So I can't really share my IP, but I can share what suburb to go in, because if my competitors know about one suburb, big deal. Doesn't matter at all, right? And we had a few amazing suburbs last year that we did really well on. We were lucky enough to get properties in the number 9 suburb in all of Australia last year, which was really cool.
Beautiful. Yep.
But I'm happy to show people how to do it. And you know what? You're welcome to do it, because it's not that hard if you're a computer geek. If you can get the data and you can get the spreadsheet and the formulas. And I'll show you exactly what I'm looking for, because there's 39 criteria, and I'll tell you every single part of it, what you're looking for, what you want. Go for it. It doesn't matter. Because there's 16,000 suburbs. So unless you're a computer geek, it will be a little bit of work.
Absolutely. That's it for my questions. So you've done well, knocking them out. Love it.
1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. So look,
the great thing about those questions, though, that's obviously resonates with other people as well. And even if they haven't thought of those questions, that might be something that, you know, gets their
Exactly.
cogs moving in, I should say.
Yeah. So what I like to do is I'd like to just do a quick summary before we finish anyway. So what we've done, we've answered questions on, you know, what's important when considering an investment property, what's important when considering a mentor and a coach, and just talking about interest rates and other factors and what to look at. And it comes down to this. You know, if you're going to go parachuting, who would you choose? The cheapest parachuter, someone that's learned how to parachute at parachute school but hasn't jumped out of a plane, or someone that's actually jumped out and had another 2,000 people jump out with him, right? Seriously.
And multiple jumps.
Yes. So seriously, you got to look at that, and you really got to be mindful of that, because it's very, very important. And then also what we're doing is I love all these compliments people are giving us.
Yeah, there's some lots of I keep getting distracted. We're getting all these lovely, beautiful compliments.
Guys, I really want to say I'm so grateful and thankful. And look, you know, out of our values, thankful and grateful is one of our values. And that's probably the biggest thing that I bring in this whole group. And everyone here in the Australian Property Chat and everyone at the Positive Property Show on our podcast, I just want to send out my love and gratefulness to you. And I just tomorrow I'm going to do a morning meditation, because in the morning meditation, what I do is I think of several people and send them unconditional love and happiness and wish them the best of the best. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing meditation on all the people in Australian Property Chat, and the day after I'm going to be doing Property Show people. And it's one of my favorite things to do. I love doing my morning meditation and send out love and gratefulness to people, because, you know, we should always be grateful for being alive and being here. And I'm really grateful for our people in our Australian Property Chat. So thank you so much. It's been a great session. Now, remember, we're here every Wednesday live at 6:45 Australian Standard Time. So put in your diary, come along, because seriously, the information I'm giving for free is everything I know. Don't hold back. You know, when I caught up with Gary Vee, I had dinner with Gary Vee when I was in Melbourne, and Gary Vee said, George, just give it all. All these people try to hold their content back. Just give it away, because that's how you're going to get all your tribe, and that's it. You know what I mean? Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it. So, guys, thank you so much. See you guys next week. Thank you for listening. I'm grateful for all our listeners around the world. If you found this podcast valuable, please share with someone that might find this useful, and please join our tribe of purpose-driven investors, increasing income and impact in our Facebook group, Positive Property. Please note, with a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and a passive income, I've become incredibly successful at investing in property. The fact of it is, however, many people may find investing in property challenging. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work. However, becoming educated to make an informed decision and having the right advisors gives you the tools you need to succeed. The most important part of this formula, however, is to actually take action and apply that knowledge. It is important to understand the information I share is of a general nature only and is not taking into account your unique circumstances. If you're considering investing in any asset class, you need to seek the advice of an independent professional advisor who will be able to look at your specific situation. Be sure your advisor has actually achieved the kind of results you're seeking. Many won't have, so beware. We've taken great care putting those educational resources together. We'd be surprised if you didn't find any errors or omissions. If you do, our legal team says we have to say we're not responsible for those. In fact, as with all things, even your success, we're not responsible. That responsibility always has and always will come down to you and the actions you take. We're passionate about supporting you in that process and helping you increase your ability to create wealth, live the life you desire, and provide all the things you dream of for you and your family.